So the question comes up, should I help other people? Some people think, hey, stop helping other people. Only put yourself first. Be an asshole. You deserve it. It's the only way to get through life. And other people tell you, you should help everyone. Be a saint, be a god, be a goddess. But does that turn you into like a dirty rag that everyone just walks on? Today, I'd like to get in depth on this question and find out the true answer for this, because there's so much confusion and so much just bullshit out there on this question. We really want to get down to the deep, dark, beautiful bottom of this question, if it's right to help other people. Christian Piros here with you. I'm Christian Piros, Senior Mentor and Coach at 11 Nation. This question came up in one of my coaching sessions today, which is why I'd like to share this discussion with you, because I'm so inspired by this question because it drives people crazy, right? What do I see in myself and people I talk with, and what's going on out there in the real world? And what's going on with you when something happens around you in your environment, whether you're at work, at home, at a restaurant, on the street. Something happens and you're wondering, should I help this person? Or maybe you help them automatically, or maybe it doesn't cross your mind. The example I like to use is you're at a restaurant. You're at a restaurant enjoying dinner with a friend, and 3 yards behind you, 3 meters behind you, someone drops a plate and breaks it. What do you usually do? What's your first reaction? Do you usually turn around and look, hey, what happened? Do you usually ignore it? Is it possible that you're so tuned in with your friend you don't even hear the plate? It just kind of fades into the background noise. Now, all of these reactions are totally okay. There is no right or wrong here. We just want to see which behavior you have most commonly, and that habit pattern that you have in your life, how that habit pattern is affecting your beliefs and how those beliefs are affecting your life and the results that you're getting in your life. Let's say that you're the kind of person who doesn't even notice the plate breaking. Someone dropped a plate behind you at the restaurant, it broke, you're focused on your friend. The day goes on as normal, right? Everything's completely fine. Let's go to the other extreme. Someone drops the plate and it broke, and immediately you turn around almost in a panic. What happened? Oh, it's a broken plate. But the weird thing is you already knew that, right? You hear a plate breaking, you knew that a plate broke. You might even be able to tell if it was a plate or a glass by the sound of it breaking, yet you still turned around. Why do you do that? Why do we do that sometimes? Right? It's an important question. Then there's kind of the middle road, the middle option between the two extremes, is you hear the plate breaking behind you at the restaurant. You're focused on your friend, and you know, hey, someone broke a plate. It's not really my responsibility. There's no danger or risk to anyone, so I can continue to enjoy dinner with my friend here. So why is the middle choice, observe and decide, the best choice? I advocate for the middle choice here. And that's because if you're the kind of person who's turning around and reacting to everything around you, it shows that you're overly engaged with your environment. Your nervous system is maybe a little bit out of balance, out of tune at the moment. And by being overly engaged in your environment, you're taking away energy from yourself and from your life. And we're going to get into that later, why being distracted like that can deter from the success that you're having in your own life. On the other hand, being the kind of person who's totally oblivious, I don't recommend that either for obvious reasons, because if you're oblivious to dangers in your environment, you can actually get hurt, or someone else might get hurt that you're responsible for, and that's not a good thing to happen. So the middle path is a path of deliberate decision making. It's not exactly detachment, although we're trying to go to a little bit of detachment, but it's kind of leading in that direction. So when I hear the plate breaking, I can make a deliberate decision. How crazy was the sound? Okay, it was just a plate breaking. It's a normal. Did someone cry for help or ask for help? No, nobody asked for help, so everything's okay. Is this my responsibility? Am I the restaurant owner? Am I part of the staff here? Not my responsibility. Okay, so what is my focus right now? I'm focused on having dinner with my friend and having a good conversation with my friend. What's the best use of my energy right now? Maybe my friend is in the middle of sharing some important details with me. Maybe my friend just arrived and we're just reestablishing that bond together. The best use of my energy is to focus on my friend right now, right? When I decide that the thing that happened with the plate isn't important for me. And doing that with everything in our life that happens around us gives us the opportunity to decide. So before I react to something, I want to notice, hey, what is this thing? What does it mean? What are the pros and cons? And I can decide what my action is going to be in a conscious and deliberate way, right? I'll give you maybe a couple more examples, right? A couple more examples. Someone at the office is coming to me and asking me for help with something. That's a clear and direct request. I'm going to listen to the request and elicit a full information from the person. So if someone comes to me at the office and says, hey, I want your help with this. Say, tell me about it. Why don't you tell me? I'd love to hear what your request is, or tell me about it and I'll see if I can help you. And then I can listen to their request, maybe ask them a couple questions. When do you need this by? How much time do you think you might need from me? And based on all that information, I can make a reasonable response to that request, right? And there's other factors that come into play, my responsibility, my position at the office, all these other things, if this is my boss or not, a colleague, what department, We're not going to get into all that right now, but you can see that by taking distance, instead of automatically saying, sure, no problem, I'll do it, I first get into a discussion with the person. I say, I'd love to hear more about your question. Maybe I can help, right? So having that discussion lets me get more detailed information, and then I can give a reasonable response. And I don't have to give the response immediately. It's perfectly okay to say, hey, I'm glad you came to me with this request. I think I have all the information. Do me a favor, I need to check how this fits in with my schedule this week. Let me get back to you later today, or let me get back to you tomorrow morning and I can tell you concretely if I can help you with this or not. That's a totally appropriate response in most situations at work. So maybe one more example. You're in a public space and someone is being all weird and wacky. They're maybe acting in an inconsistent way. Are you going to, interfere with them and confront them? Or are you just going to go about your day? That's a tough call sometimes because you might be concerned about the other person or you might have the desire to help. But in most cases, it's best for us not to interfere because we could actually make things worse. Maybe the person is having a really horrible day. Maybe something is really, really wrong. It's best for us not to interfere. But if we think that there might be a danger to other people, then maybe we need to call for professional help. Maybe we need to call an ambulance or somebody like that to help the person, assist the person with whatever is going on. So the context matters. Obviously, I can't cover things for you by example, but you get the idea. Instead of just reacting automatically, take a moment to decide objectively what's going on. And then we get to the why of this. And the why is energy management and managing your own energy that you have every day. Because as human beings, as much as we can dream in infinite ways and think in infinite ways, our physicality is finite, right? If I decide I want to walk across the city or across the country, I can only walk so many miles or kilometers in a day. Or if I wanted to run, I can only run so many miles or kilometers in a day. There's a finite limit to that energy that I put out there. Now, sure, I can get better. I can get more efficient and be a better walker, be a better runner. I could use a bicycle, Maybe even use a mechanized, maybe even use a car, right? Maybe even use an airplane. But even the pilots of the airplane run out of energy at some point. They get sleepy, they get tired. There's a limit to how far we can go in a day, and that's because as human beings, our energy is finite. So therefore, over time, over the course of the days, the weeks, the months, and the years in my life, I want to know that most of the things that I'm investing most of my time in are directed to the things that I believe in consciously are good for my life. For example, for me, my priorities are my health, my relationships, my friendships, my partner, my career, my family. Those are the priorities for me. And for you, they might be different, but it's a conscious choice where you want to invest that time. How much of my energy do I want to waste on distractions, on Netflix, on things in the street, on broken stuff at the restaurant, on stuff that I'm not responsible for and it's not part of my mission or life purpose to be involved in? Because time that I'm wasting on that other stuff is reducing my success in the things that do matter to me. Just another example. We all want to be lazy for a certain amount of time each day. I want to zone out and be lazy a little bit every day. And for me, half an hour is good. Half an hour on the couch after work, zone out, that's great. And that's all I need. For you, it might be different, and that's totally okay. But that's part of a deliberate health cycle, right? That's part of just maintaining my balance in health and relaxation, activity and relaxation. When I'm putting energy, actively putting energy into it, I'd like to think that 80%, kind of the 80-20 rule, I'd like to think that 80% of my energy is going into the things that are aligned with my life purpose. And when we talk about life purpose and my objectives in life for a fulfilling and happy life, I go into that in some of the other videos. So I'm not going to talk about all these like side topics here today, but I hope that gives you an idea of why I believe it's so important for you to take some distance from your reactions. And when something happens in your environment, take a split second, take half a second or a second, just a moment of time to observe, think what's reasonable and rational to do in this situation. And of course, if it's obvious, someone's at risk of serious injury or death, someone's asking for help, of course, jump in and help them. You're doing a great service when you do that. But if it's not your responsibility, it's not part of your mission, there's no danger to health and safety, it may be the best option to not do anything. And if it's a person-to-person thing, someone's upset, someone's angry, it might be a friend of yours, it might be somebody at work, what are the options there? What are the options there? Is it your responsibility to calm this person down? Is your responsibility to help them manage their emotional state? Is it your responsibility to help them solve the problem? These are all good questions that we'll get into more in relationship videos on this topic, but it's always okay to take some distance. So I hope this was helpful for you. I'd love to hear your questions and comments on this video today. Just drop them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them in a near upcoming video. So great to see you, and have a great day.